Let's start, Seamus. Let's talk about testimonials. You and I are getting on a bit. When you've been around a place for the length of time that you've been around, you don't get testimonials very often in modern football. Does that make it more of a special thing that you're in this situation?
I think it does, yeah. I'm like you say, there's not too many people that stay around, well, players that stay around the football club for 10 seasons now. So yeah, I mean, it's something that I'm proud of. I know Sean is as well. I've seen a lot of changes since I've been here, a lot of positive ones. And looking forward to, hopefully having a good season on the pitch. I know that the testimonial is, in the back of my mind, at the forefront of my mind, is how well the team can do. And I know if the team does well, the testimonial season takes care of itself. But yeah, there should be some good events this year. We should enjoy ourselves and hopefully have a good time.
Is it more important than ever when you've been granted a testimonial to prove your own worth during the season leading up to it? Because both for yourself and Sean, I have heard people say that means they're packing in then.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I think I was trying to get to in my first point. I'm still trying to prove that I'm worthy to be at this club. I'm worthy to I'm worthy of the selection when the manager does pick me. I'm very conscious of that now. One, being a testimonial season, and two, being I'm 35 years old now. I don't want to be, seen as just, it's just, Seamus, he's part of the furniture here, be here for however long. I want to show that I'm, worth my place on the pitch, worth my place in the dressing room. I can bring something to this team. I'm desperate for this team to be successful this year. The pain from last year is still there. I don't think it'll ever go away, but it will certainly get easier if we can just start winning matches again. It was a great feeling on the first day of the season to win a game again. And since then it's been difficult walking off the pitch against Gillingham, walking out of the dugout against Barrow the other night was a horrible feeling, and a feeling that I experienced too many times last year, and I don't want to experience that too many times this year.
How are you different? How do you feel different at 35 to when you arrived at 25? I guess there'll be some pros and some cons there.
Yeah, I think my game has changed. I know that people might not remember, but I scored 3 goals in 5 games in my first season. So I think we used to play like a 4-4-2 or 4-4-1-1, and I got forward a lot more. And since then I've become more of an anchor in midfielder, trying to, just not move side to side, but, not up and down as much. I still cover probably the same amount of distance in the game, but in different ways. I suppose my body's not able to play 46 games. I played 46 games my first year, first full season. I played every game. I'm not able to do that now. I understand that. The manager understands that. The physio understands that. But, if you take away the amount that I can play, my game knowledge, my football intelligence has increased by playing over 300 games, by playing with certain players, playing against certain players, working with the managers, the coaching staff. So yeah, I suppose it's a balance. You lose things, but you gain in other areas over the years.
You've gone from 3 goals in 5 games to a goal every 3 years, I think. You must be due.
But what's the stat though, Dan? Come on, you get it out every time. What's the stat if I do score?
Accrington Stanley have never lost when you've scored a goal.
It's actually true for my whole professional career. I've gone through this recently because my little lad keeps asking me questions about when I score. So I've got up the games from Sligo Rovers and actually Go United, and no, any game I've ever scored in, we've never lost. So I hope I'm not putting any jinx on it now. But
I roughly know how old your little boy is. He won't have seen you score many, will he?
No, he's not. No, I have to get them up on YouTube for him to watch.
It's good that they're on YouTube. We're not that old. This place, you talked about positive changes. We're sitting in positive changes. The stands have all been done, the bar's been done, all those kind of things. Does this club retain some of the other things that it had when you arrived, or has everything changed?
I'd like to say that it does, and I think because it's still the same manager, still some of the same players, the essence of what Accrington Stanley is still here. Now it's not as it's not as prevalent maybe as it once was. the pitch is so much better, which should help us play football. But teams might enjoy coming here a little bit more than they did. Certainly 10 years ago when I first came here, the dressing rooms are much better, the facilities are much better. But we can't. They are positive changes. We can't say, we wish it was like it used to be. It had to change. It had to move on. We're a football league team. We want to be a football league team. There are certain standards that you need to meet, and that's what the chairman has delivered since he's been here. But yeah, no, the essence is still here of what it is to be Accrington Stanley. That will, as long as John Coleman, Jimmy Bell, myself, John Dool and Sean McConville, those lads, the fans, the fans are the same fans that were here 10 years ago as well. For me, that will never change, and that's something that the club should be really proud of and never let go.
How much do you think about the future? And we've already established I'm not pensioning you off, I'm not trying to get rid of you, but because you're one of 3, maybe 4 senior players working with a group of really young players in there, does that turn your mind to how you can help players off the pitch? Yeah,
I see that as a big responsibility, not just because you're a senior player, but as a captain, I feel like you need to be vocal. I said some things the other night in the dressing room that in the heat of the moment I probably regret now, and I'll have to go back and deal with them myself. It's a balancing act of knowing when to get onto players and when to encourage them, and that's something that, if we go back to things that might have changed over the years, I think that's more of I think maybe 10 years ago, players are a bit more susceptible to criticism, to shouting, having a go at players, and now it's a bit more of, you really need to realise when you can shout, because there are times when you can have a go at players, and there are other times when you need to put an arm around them and encourage them, and that's the best way to get the best out of them. And I think that's something that, as a captain or as a manager or as a senior player, you need to be aware of.
Do you get an insight into what it must be like to be the manager in circumstances like that, where you perhaps lose your cool, or in a situation like this you've got to come and talk about a performance and then think, I shouldn't really have said that, or maybe I should have said this?
Yeah, it's very difficult. I mean, it's an emotional game, and I think that caring so much about doing well as what's taken me to where I am, but then also caring so much means that you say things at times when you probably weren't the right thing to say, or that you regret in the cold light of day. And I do appreciate it must be difficult for managers to have to come out after every game within 10 minutes of the final whistle or 10 minutes of leaving the dressing room, speak to yourselves where everything is recorded and documented, and anything you say will it'll be there forever now. You need to be well trained and be able to articulate your thoughts without saying something that you might regret in the future.
And just to close, I wonder if it can be emphasised enough how much professional football, English football, but this football club has changed your life. As a kid growing up in Ireland, I don't imagine you would have dreamt that you would be living in the northwest of England with, I'm going to say, kids who are Lancastrian.
Yeah, you could say that, yeah.
Do you think about that? The fact that for 10 years you've had a life and a lifestyle and a location and all of those things because of your service to this place and their commitment to you?
Yeah, absolutely. I think about it all the time. I've said it several times. I could never have believed that I would have been here for this long, to play as many games, and to have had so many good times, so many bus journeys back, party buses back from brilliant away games, winning trophies, winning promotions, some difficult times as well. Stevenage, Wimbledon, getting relegated last year, but I wouldn't, for what this club's given me, it was the best footballing decision I ever made to follow John Coleman here. But like I said, I don't think it's not the end of it. I hope there's still some good times ahead.